Snow fell steadily on Christmas Eve, transforming the city into a postcard scene of twinkling lights and holiday windows. The tree lot on Fifth Avenue was closing early, the owner packing up unsold trees while last-minute shoppers hurried past. With bags and packages, Tristan Cole stood outside the lot, phone pressed to his ear, arguing with his board about a merger that couldn't wait until after the holidays. At 40, he was CEO of Cole Industries, a real estate development firm managing properties worth billions. He wore an expensive coat that did nothing to warm the coldness inside him. Christmas had become just another day years ago when his wife died giving birth to their stillborn son. 7 years had passed, but the holidays still felt like commemorating loss rather than celebrating joy. He was about to head back to his empty penthouse when he noticed her, a little girl, maybe 5 years old, wearing a blue coat and a Santa hat, standing in front of the tree lot with her face pressed against the chain-link fence. She clutched a worn teddy bear and was staring at the remaining trees with an intensity that made Tristan pause. Behind her stood a young woman in her late 20s, blonde hair escaping from a ponytail, wearing a coat that had seen too many winters. She had her hand on the girl's shoulder, and Tristan could see her lips moving, clearly explaining something the child didn't want to hear. The little girl turned to the woman with tears in her eyes. "But Mama, we need a tree. It's Christmas Eve. Everyone has a tree." "I know, baby, but we don't have money for a tree this year. We'll make paper decorations instead. It'll be just as nice." "But you said Santa needs a tree to know where to leave presents. If we don't have a tree, how will he find us?" The woman's face crumpled before she regained control. "Santa doesn't need a tree, sweetheart. He's magic. He'll find us anyway." The little girl looked back at the trees, her disappointment palpable even from a distance. Then, with the determined waddle only small children possess, she approached Tristan. "Excuse me, mister, can I borrow a tree?" Tristan blinked, surprised. "I'm sorry, what? Can I borrow one of those trees? Just for tonight? Mama says we can't buy one, but maybe if I could borrow one just for Christmas, Santa would know where to find us. I'd give it back tomorrow. I promise." The mother rushed over, her face flushed with embarrassment. "Emma, we don't bother strangers." "I'm so sorry, sir. Come on, we need to go." But Emma pulled away from her mother's hand. "Mom, I'm not bothering him. I'm asking politely like you taught me. Please, mister, we live really close. I could carry it myself. I'm really strong." Tristan knelt down to Emma's level. "What's your name?" "Emma Grace Thompson. I'm 5.5. This is my mama, Lily. She works really hard, but we don't have much money because her job at the hospital doesn't pay enough and Daddy left a long time ago. But Mama says we're rich in love even if we're poor in dollars." Emma Lily said, her voice tight with barely controlled tears. "That's private information." "I'm so sorry, sir. We'll leave you alone." Tristan looked at this woman trying to maintain dignity while clearly struggling, at the little girl who understood borrowing because owning was out of reach. He thought about his empty penthouse with its designer furniture and its complete lack of Christmas spirit. "Wait," he said. "I'm Tristan, and Emma's right. Everyone needs a tree on Christmas Eve." He walked to the tree lot where the owner was loading the last few trees onto his truck. "How much for that one?" Tristan pointed to a full, 7-foot pine. $150. "But I'm close." Tristan pulled out his wallet and handed over $200 bills. "Keep the change. I need it delivered." He turned to Lily and Emma. "Where do you live?" Lily shook her head. "We can't accept this. It's too much." "Mama, he's giving us a tree." "Say thank you," Emma insisted. "Emma's right. It's Christmas Eve. Everyone needs a tree. Just tell me where to have it delivered." Lily looked between Tristan and her daughter, pride warring with the desperate desire to give her child one magic Christmas. "We're at 342 West 23rd, apartment 4B. "But really, you don't have to consider it a loan," Tristan said, winking at Emma. "You can return it after Christmas if you want." Emma's face lit up with pure joy. "Really? A real tree? Mama, we're getting a tree." The tree lot owner, softened by the scene, agreed to deliver immediately. But as he loaded the tree, Emma tugged Tristan's coat. "Mr. Tristan, will you come help us decorate? Mama doesn't know how to put a tree up. We've never had one before." "Emma." "No," Lily said firmly. "Mr. Tristan has done enough. He probably has his own family way." Don't," Tristan heard himself say. "No family, no plans. I'd be happy to help." An hour later, Tristan found himself in a cramped one-bedroom apartment that was spotlessly clean, but showed signs of financial struggle. Furniture from thrift stores, decorations made from paper and cardboard, a small kitchen where Lily clearly performed miracles stretching every dollar. But there was warmth here. Love in the drawings covering the refrigerator, in the worn books carefully organized on makeshift shelves, in the way Emma showed him her room, a corner sectioned off with the curtain. Setting up the tree revealed more of their story. Lily was a hospital aide working double shifts. Emma's father had left when she was a baby. They'd been evicted from their previous apartment, and this was all they could afford. Lily was taking online classes hoping to become a nurse, studying after Emma went to bed, trying to build a better future. "I know it's not much," Lily said quietly while Emma searched for the paper ornaments she'd made. "But it's ours. We're making it. It's more than many people have," Tristan said. "Emma's right. You're rich in what actually matters." They decorated with paper snowflakes and construction paper chains. Tristan had stopped at a store and bought lights and a star for the top. When they finished, Emma stood back and clasped her hands together. "It's the most beautiful tree in the whole world." "Thank you, Mr. Tristan." "You're welcome, Emma. Will you stay for dinner? Mama made soup. She makes really good soup." Tristan should have declined, should have returned to his penthouse and his solitude. But looking at this little girl who'd asked to borrow a Christmas tree, at her mother who worked herself to exhaustion to give her daughter a life, he couldn't walk away. "I'd love to stay for dinner." Over simple soup and bread, Tristan talked more than he had in years. About his late wife, his lost son, the holidays he'd spent alone because celebrating seemed like betraying their memory. Lily listened with compassion, understood grief in ways most people didn't. After dinner, Emma fell asleep on the couch, exhausted from excitement. Lily covered her with a blanket and sat beside Tristan. "Thank you," she said quietly, "not just for the tree, for being here, for treating us like we matter. You do matter, more than you know. Can I ask you something? Why did you really help us? You could have just bought the tree and left." Tristan looked at the Christmas tree, at Emma sleeping peacefully, at this woman who'd maintained grace despite everything. "Because Emma asked to borrow a tree like it was the most natural thing in the world. Because she reminded me that not everyone can own what they need, but everyone deserves to experience joy. And because you've built something beautiful here with almost nothing. And that's worth more than anything I've built with everything." Over the next months, Tristan became part of their lives. He paid for Lily to finish her nursing program properly, helped them move to a better apartment, made sure Emma had clothes and books. He attended her kindergarten performances and helped with homework. But more than that, he fell in love with Lily's strength and kindness, with Emma's fearless joy, with the family they built together from a borrowed Christmas tree and the courage to ask for help. 2 years after that snowy Christmas Eve, Tristan and Lily married in a simple ceremony with Emma as flower girl. At the reception, Emma gave a speech that made everyone cry. 2 years ago, I asked a stranger if I could borrow a Christmas tree because Mama couldn't afford to buy one. He said yes. But he didn't just give us a tree. He gave us a family. He taught Mama that asking for help isn't weakness. He taught me that kindness is real. And he taught himself that money means nothing if you're spending Christmas alone. So, I think maybe that tree was magic after all. Just not the way I thought. Tristan held his family close. This brave girl who'd asked to borrow something that couldn't truly be borrowed, who'd understood that sometimes temporary help is the beginning of permanent change, who'd reminded a lonely billionaire that the best gifts aren't wrapped in paper but built from connection, compassion, and the willingness to say yes when someone asks for help. If this story warmed your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment about a time when asking for something small led to something greater.